What's up, everybody? You know, it's me again. You know what I'm saying? You know, I always tell you, wealth occasion where equity starts, right? So today, I'm going to speak on behalf of a corporation structure, right? And with that being said, I'm going to just go into, certain, dimensions of a corporation. So we're going to use Swiftway Inc., right? I ain't put C or S Corp. You know me, Pacific, I like C Corps, right? So over here, you got founders or owners, right? With that bring in the guys that sit back, hire to incorporate or whatever it may be, start the corporation up, so far and so on, which I know all y'all familiar with how they set up a corporation, say they set up an LLC or any other type of entity. Might be a little more because the corporation deal with minutes and you deal with a little bit more things that the LLC is just really more simple. It's all about simplifying things. It's not about what's hard, what's easy. It's about simplifying things, right? So founders and owners have this, if they properly set it up right, capital equity. And what is capital equity? Owners' investment capital, maybe the preferred stock or common stocks, etc. Different types of securities, right? So a lot of time people get afraid when we talking about shares and and companies dealing with stocks because they think about they don't want their company to get took. And they don't realize that first, before a company even go public, it's going to be a private held company for the first year, 2 years. Not saying they don't just start up and they go public instant, but from my understanding, most time they be private held for the first year, 2 years, 4, 5 years, or whatever. So right here is what protects someone like us. That's if you're a one-man founder in a co-founder relationship, whatever it may be, you got something that's considered ROFR, which is right of first refusal agreement. When I first saw this agreement, I fell in love because it showed me how you're protected within this agreement, right? And how I say you're protected because meaning the private held securities have to be sold back to the founders or owners first. No outside party. So meaning if I'm sitting down with you and I'm letting you come in my private held, corporation, or if it's an LLC too, we probably can issue shares, in-house, because a LLC can't go public, right? So I still have an option to offer you this, right? A right of refusal agreement. And what that does is now, if I'm selling you X amount of shares at, part of face value, now you can't go out there and sell these stocks to no one else. You have to come back to me first and let me make the decision that I want to buy my stock back, etc. In most cases, I won't buy my stock back, you know what I'm saying? Because I might not want to deal with the people that you feel that you bring it in, because, it all deal with relationships and how you may have, the same type of, how can I say, alignment with someone, right? Not saying that that's always the case in business, but that's the beauty about a private held corporation. Now, if it's a public traded corporation, right, if we go in public and we issue these shares out, that's what make them so liquid, because they constantly got a market that people can just sell them over and over, and they could kind of, with the stock going down, you see it all the time, people could liquidate their money because it's a public traded stock, so anybody could buy into the stock, right? But we're just talking on the private held, so bam. That's just one thing that I really want to elaborate on today for real. But when I thought I had to put another whole illustration down to put my demonstration down, you understand what I'm saying? Tap back into the true Zyro, you know what I'm saying? J-Bot, artificial intelligence, modified intelligence is what type of robot I operate in capacity, right? So with that being said, the next side gonna be capital structure. What is capital structure? Capital structure is pretty much something that is set up inside of the agreements and things with you and your attorney or you and your incorporator, whoever is that sharp in that area that want to, sit down and figure out, how we gonna allocate these funds, back and forward around in the system that we're building, right? You don't hear these terms as much because nobody talks about this as much, but the guys that's actually, focus on, maybe raising equity finance, and they ain't that. So it's a combination of, what they're going to do. If they is going to borrow money, they want to have a measure. They want to have it, all the way thought out properly, understanding like where this money is really going at and how it's going to be, coming back in, compensating them. So that's why I put capital structure and pretty much, from my overstanding, I'm just say from my understanding right now, to tone it down, how the funds is going to be accepted and distributed for operational purpose, compensated. So to me, compensation is everything. How people are going to get rewarded for their time, effort, or money invested. So some people might have sweat equity with you. They might not have no real money to invest in your company, but they may be the lady that go out and do things, and you might look at them as a solid partner, or just a whatever it may be. You might want to say, well, I'm gonna get this guy 5-10% of my company. Now this company ever blow up, he know he's set, right? So that's the meaning of how these guys gonna get paid back, right? You got investors coming, they invest in their capital with you. They want to know, their interest or their dividends and things of that. And you got your real employees, right? They payroll. So with all that being said, you have to understand, like, if you've been in a real corporation, a real company, like for me personally, I'm building a culture. It's a difference from just a company and a culture. A culture is, a bunch of people that's really hanging out, and they really more, it's like a culture, you know what I'm saying? It's not just a traditional style company. You know the difference between, I don't want to go into that, but you understand it's more attracted to somebody want to come in. I like how they do business, and we have different parties and different, it's just more of a culture. It's more of a, not relaxation. You gotta put work in, but we're a culture over here at Paper Circuit and Wealth Occasions, all these things that we're, attacking. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, compensation plan, how everybody is going to get paid. Payroll, like I just was explaining, pretty much, coming up with the formula of how much your payroll expense is going to be, etc. How much everybody going to get paid yearly, monthly, weekly, whatever it may be. So we ain't just dealing with these just directly, independent contract. That's a great formula, have independent contract. Now we know that these people is locked in because you on payroll. Not saying they can't quit or you don't want to get rid of them, whatever the case is, but they have a real payroll. They on the payroll expense, and you on the payroll expense too, as the founder, chairman, president, whatever it may be too. Like I keep telling you, the employee agreement and things of that nature. So you might have your dividends. So if it's a C corp, like I always talk about, the first investors in yourself gonna have preferred stocks, and you have some common stocks. So that means the preferred stock, it pays out dividend, right? So that's a dividend form. Your common stock pay out, dividends, and different ways to get dividends back. And the last gonna be your interest. So that means somebody might have came in and bought the common stock, they get an interest back or whatever. The interest can be based on the principal, and interest based on the loan too. So let's not forget about that. So then I put ESOP, which is a very important for me, because employee stock option plan, meaning like when you become an employee or employer, or you running with me, etc., I might decide that I want to, give you some employee stock options. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's basically it's private health. So in 2-3 years you might can't touch it, but this company do start making real revenue and things of that nature that we may be building over here. Textile company like the CGE mold or whatever it may be. This is how these tech companies been doing it for Silicon Valley. Stage Fold did it, and these employees, that's why they work more hard, because they got a small fraction of this company, and they become paper millionaires, right? So by the time, which I don't plan on going public, but by the time this company go public or get bought out, whatever, they cash out, become multi-millionaires, mega millionaires, some be billionaires just off this formula right here, the employee stock option plan. Very important. We got to build our unity within our people. Whoever working with us doing this, man, make sure that they straight. They're not just working for a traditional company. They could pass this option down, because they could become, they could hold their stock on, and got interest paying back to them, dividend. So that's another part of the capital structure, compensation. You know what I'm saying? How everybody gonna get paid. Over here, I ain't really gotta tell you, I ain't gotta preach to the choir, but over here is operations. It's time now. Let's physically get this thing running. And to me personally, the tangible is the people, right? The people that's gonna, put the time and effort in with you, that's gonna make this thing happen, make this thing work. So right here, you got product or service, right? You got employees, which we were talking about, and customers. And I could go on and on. So I just left it real simple with them 3 things. Expansion, right? So you want to always expand. So you start now local, then you want to go state, then you might want to go national. I should have put national or global. So you gotta, you might be local, but you think international already. That's how I look at life. But the Internet of Things is global. So once you start these internet-based business, your website or application is all equity, because it's something that your company you own. So it's automatic. Cash counter start, accepting money in it's got a cash flow running the website, internet. So the Internet of Things is global. It's an export-import model. You think about it, the internet made the whole world one again. So I ain't got to go way overseas just to do business no more and things. I mean, I'm going over there to do hands-on business and meet people, but I'm just showing you that internet made everything intangible. So the 3 P's that they going to be position, prepare, and proposition. So once you start getting these things in order, you know, you position yourself, you preparing, and then proposition. You know what I'm saying? Which you gotta be able to propose. You gotta be able to go to people and be like, hey man, this is what you into, this is what you're trying to do. I got a proposition for you, you know. So with the 3 P's again, you know, just, you know, the opposite of my 5 P's I try to live by the time. I'm about to go ahead and let this video run. So like I said, the data was based on, you know, one of, you know, the subjects based on a corporation. Not, we ain't talking about LLC, we ain't talking about a corporation. And an LLC is a formal corporation, right? So people mix LLC and corporation up, but they're 2 different, you know, models, you know what I'm saying? S corp, C corp, you know, that's a corporation. LLC, you know, it could be, you know, a hybrid, it could be, you know, whatever it won't be, but it's a hybrid that operate as a C corp or S corp. So, you know, you could file your taxes on whatever style you want to file them on. That's what always made it so unique. So, you know, corporations deal with too many minutes and different things that people won't get from around, you know what I'm saying? The LLC is just started, keep going on about your business and build it until, you know, you might want to transform it into an S corp or whatever the best structure for you, like I always say. But like I say, once again, with education again, with equity starts, you know, you see my little guy right there. Peace, I'm out, man. 1.